Hi everyone, welcome back again to my channel. So today we're going to talk more about cartilage piercings. This is actually a follow-up video as many people have reached out to me mostly from Facebook and Instagram. They would like to know more about cartilage piercing. So I did this video for you guys. Before we go any further, I would like to inform you that I am in no way a professional piercer, and what I am going to share with you is based off on my personal experience and what I was able to gather through my research. And also, if you stay tuned, later I will be sharing with you a quick, safe, and easy way for you to pierce your earlobes. So stay tuned. First of all, what are cartilage piercings? So, as per Wikipedia, a cartilage piercing can refer to any area of cartilage on the body with a perforation created to wear jewelry. The two most common sites are the ears and the nose. Cartilage ear piercing is known to be sorer than the lobe, as in the cartilage there is less blood, so it takes longer to heal. When we say cartilage piercings, it does not only refer to the helix piercing. There are actually numerous sites in our ear where we can pierce, and they are in general identified as cartilage. When we were babies, obviously, our parents brought us to the doctor to pierce our earlobes, and this is considered our initial ear piercing experience. But obviously, most of us wouldn't remember this one, am I right? And when we got older, we tend to be interested in adding more ear piercings. So don't get me wrong, this is actually how I started getting them. I saw my peers having them and I got interested in them as well. It was really scary at first, as this will be an experience you will totally remember. Anyhow, I would like to share with you multiple sites where you can get your ear pierced. As you may see, there are indeed a lot of options for our ears to get pierced. Most people can easily choose helix, conch, flat, and to add more lobes. These piercings are attractive, and one good thing about these piercings is that you don't need to mind your ear's anatomy. Whereas the rook, dath, or daith as they call it, tragus, industrial, and forward helix tend to be more dependent on an individual's ear anatomy. Just a side note, I was actually interested in getting my rook done, but when I asked my ear piercer, she told me I don't have the right ear anatomy for it. Okay, now let us get to the 5 do's before you get the ear piercing. Okay, first, and very important, research a professional ear piercer, especially if it's your first and if you're going to be pierced on the cartilage. You do not want to get pierced but just by anyone. Based on my experience, when I was in college, I got my mid-helix piercing in a mall kiosk, and they used gun. They didn't share with me the aftercare instructions, so I was really lost. I don't know what to expect. So you don't want to do that. So please be sure to research a professional ear piercer. Way back before, I didn't even know that there are legit ear piercing parlors. So now, there are multiple of them, they're all around, so please make sure to go to them. Second, you must plan ahead. Speaking for myself and from the rest of my friends who love piercings, it is kind of addicting. Hence, you want to make sure that you plan what piercings you will be getting in the future so you can have the ear aesthetic you are going for. Another significant thing you must consider is that you do not want to get pierced onto both of your ears at the same time. Why? Because it will be hard to take care of it, especially when you have 2 ears pierced at the same time. Like for example, when you take a shower, you must be mindful of the pierced ear, as you have to protect it like when you're shampooing your hair, when you're combing and styling your hair. So if you do both have ear pierced, it's kind of hard to remember, oh my god, you have 2 piercings at the same time. So that is something you must consider. Third, yes, you have to clean your piercing 1 to 2 times a day with either normal saline or a salt water soak. I cannot emphasize enough that this is extremely important. Remember, your new piercing equates to a new wound. Hence, you want to make sure that you're cleaning it once in the morning and once at night. I usually use normal saline, and when it gets sore or if it's swelling, I can also consider to do the saltwater soaks. Actually, saltwater soaks are my lifesaver. When I got my recent ear pierce, it got so swollen, and normal saline isn't helping at all. So what I did is this salt water soak, and it does not only relieve the soreness, but also it felt so good. But please do not overdo it. 1 to 2 times per day cleaning is more than enough for your new piercings. So, we get all excited with our new piercings and you'd like to change your jewelry as soon as possible. So, what happened is that when you get your ear pierced, you have the basic simple jewelry. So, you do not want that. But with cartilage piercings, you have to wait because you have to give ample time for your cartilage piercing to get healed. Earlobe piercings tend to heal the quickest because it has generous blood flow. But there's another story with your cartilage piercings. Because of the little blood flow in these areas, healing time tends to be much longer, even up to a year. So this is something you should consider when you are choosing your piercing. Again, right hygiene is key, but this time not only by making sure you're cleaning your piercings, but also you have to consider your bedsheets, clothing, and even your towels. I learned this the hard way when I had my tragus done, and it was about 3 to 4 months into its healing. I stopped taking care of it. I thought it's already healed. Lo and behold, got swollen again, and to the extent of having a piercing bump. Pierce bumps tend to happen around the point of entry of the piercing when one doesn't clean their piercings. I was able to catch it before it got worse, thank God, but the discomfort I felt at that time is useless. I mean, I could have avoided it, right? With this in mind, it means that even if you think that your piercing has healed, you must still be careful and continue taking care of it, because this might not be the case. These cartilage piercings usually heal from the outside to inside. Now, what are the things you need to avoid when getting your cartilage pierced? Here are 5 don'ts we need to consider. As I mentioned earlier, you guys, we do not want any gun piercings, most especially to our cartilage area. The first reason is that guns can never be cleansed thoroughly, let alone sterilized. Second reason is that the gun piercing cannot be controlled by the piercer. It is usually one loud and forced snap. Unlike needle piercing, the piercer can control how the needle enters the skin. Hence, there will be lesser trauma to the surrounding tissue. When we have our new piercing, it's all sore and pretty. We tend to touch it or even play with it, but this is highly discouraged, especially if you have unwashed hands. You can introduce harmful bacteria to it, which can either infect it or slow down the healing process, which we do not like, right? So make sure that before you touch your ear piercing, especially when you're about to clean it, make sure your hands are washed. Okay, another thing that you do not want to do is when you got a fresh piercing, you must never ever sleep on it. So how to avoid it, especially when we're sleeping, we're unaware of which side we're going to sleep? I suggest the use of a donut or those plain pillows. You can use the space in the middle to make sure your piercings won't be slept on. This is why it's not usually recommended for you to get both of your ears pierced at the same time. Another thing to consider is to avoid swimming, especially in public pools, for a few months after getting your new piercings. This is because the water can harbor loads of bacteria that can again get into your piercings, infecting them and risking healing your piercings longer than they should be. So, maybe think twice if you want to get your ears pierced before a beach or summer getaway. Use of alcohol and peroxide is not usually recommended. These chemicals can be too strong that instead of helping your piercings to heal faster, it could actually irritate them. As most professional piercers said, less is more. So, there you go. These are my quick 5 do's and 5 don'ts in regards to cartilage piercings. Now, as promised, I want to share with you an easy access piercing kit that is mostly available in our local pharmacies. Please be in mind that this is only recommended for those who are getting their second or third lobes pierced. These are single-use sterile piercing kit, which includes the alcohol piercing kit and of course the surgical steel basic stud jewelry. Let me show you a video when I did a lobe piercing to my good friends Mona and Ian. As As I've said again and again, I want to emphasize that this is only recommended for lobe piercings. Why? Because as I mentioned, lobe piercings are the easiest to heal and we do not need to baby these piercings as there's a good blood flow, which equates to faster and smoother healing. If you did stick watching this video, I want to thank you and I would highly suggest for you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you do have more questions about piercings in general, please feel free to leave comments down below and I will try my best to answer them. Have a good day and see you on my next video. Bye!